Hey everyone, welcome to Sir Inc.'s The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. We only cater to adults 18 and above. So remember, this podcast is not safe for work, or as we like to say, NSF.
Remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kink curious folk out there. My name is Sir Inc. And on this podcast, I'm going to talk to you guys about, should you ladies trust the flower and candy man? Now, what do I mean by that? I had a conversation with a friend of mine. She is married. And she is struggling in her marriage of 20 years. She is deprived of affection. She's deprived of attention. And what she's done is sought that attention outside of her marriage. Right or wrong, that's your judgment. I don't judge her on that. But what happens is, the guy that kind of wooed her, he had known her for a long time. He's known her since high school, whatever. And he's like, oh, I've always liked you. I still have your number from years ago. And, he sends a good morning text and how you doing? And he's very attentive in this way. And in the end, I'm going to just go all the way. I'm going to go to the end. In the end, his intentions was to only have sex with her, and they've had sex, and it wasn't good. And she admitted that, but now she's caught up. She's caught up in the attention that he gave her and the things that he was saying. But as she got deeper into it, he started pulling back. Now, why is this? Two parts of this. Number one, she's telling me, I've broken up with him a couple times. I'm like, you can't break up with your side dude. That makes no damn sense to me. There is nobody else other than your husband. A side dude is optional, and you should not cling on to anything on the side. Let's start there. Number two, he gave you what you needed. And I'm gonna say it like this. A friend of mine will always say, we all eat lies when we're hungry. She was hungry. She was starving for attention and affection. A lot of guys know women who are in long-term relationships are struggling for that, what we call new relationship energy, right? Lord Heaven said that. New relationship energy. It's that, oh, I miss you, baby. How was your day? Good morning, sunshine, baby, boo, 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 kissy, kissy, kissies. All that. He gave her all that, and he didn't even give her any good dick. But what got her caught up? The attention, the affection. The affection, the attention, the adoration had her going. But as soon as she started falling deeper for him, he started pulling back. And I told her, my issue with all this is this. As a man, right, and he's married, but as a man, even if, your side lady is getting a little further down the rabbit hole than you would like her to be, then you have to have a conversation to pull her out of there, right? You need to have a conversation of, look, this is what, look, we got to keep things straight. Let's have a moment of clarity. But the reason why he didn't have a moment of clarity, because he's the candy man. He's the man with the flowers, right? He's romancing the stone. He's finessing the pussy. So once you go finesse route, you already done played on her emotions and all that. So now you really can't have no moments of clarity because you done tapped into her emotional side, right? On a side that was starving, and you fed it. And now that you fed it, she wants it and she wants more of it, right? But where does this go? Are you about to leave your husband of 20 years to be with some dude who's married? And he might not leave his wife. I mean, what are you going to do? Shut your marriage down and start anew? No. And she asked me damn, you think I got played, didn't I? And I said, to a degree, yes. But you only got played because you were wanting and needing attention. The attention that your husband has forgotten about. And you guys know, if you listen to me talk on these podcasts, these vlogcasts, I'll always talk about men and what it is to be an assertive, dominant man and being to kink. See, when you're in the kink, it keeps those kind of things going. It keeps you thinking about how are you giving attention to your mate, not only sexually, but mentally. Like you have to feed your sub. But what happens in regular relationships, and I 100% get it. Trust me, I get it. Like, no one is out here acting like they've been Superman, all throughout their life, right? No, I get it. Long-term relationships, you can fall into some mundane habits because when you're dealing with marriage and kids and everyday life, it becomes very routine, very mundane, and it can become stale if you don't do things to keep it going. So one of the things I've learned from my mentor slash play brother was when his kids got old enough and in high school, he made it a point, him and his wife made it a point to start dating each other again. They made it a point to every Friday night was their night. They would meet somewhere downtown, go out to have dinner and all that. And if they didn't do that, if the weather wasn't permitting, they made a date night in the house. But they made it a point that at least once a week would be their time uninterrupted. So as the kids were getting to be out of the house, they started gradually getting back into themselves. Because what happens is a big part of your relationship and marriage has been in parenthood. So when you start becoming an empty nester, that becomes like, well, who are we now? Because the person you married pre-kids is different than the person you had when they graduate in high school. We're all different. And so we have to deal with that, right? And so we don't deal with the candy man coming in, scooping up your woman because you've just forgotten what it is to give her love and affection in the way of attention. And I get it. Like, men, we don't need a lot of water. Our flower, us as plants, we don't need a lot of water. I don't need you honey boo booing me every day. I don't need that kind of attention. And some women don't need that attention either, but everyone wants the attention in the way that they desire it, the way that makes them feel good. And when you're their partner, you have to give that to them. And you can't never fall asleep on that. Because if you fall asleep on it, which is listen, again, this is human nature. This happens to the best of them, right? But if you really want to cherish your relationship and keep it going, you have to water it. You have to have routines within that mundaneness that keeps that fire going. I always say, keeping it spicy. You have to have ways to keep things spicy. Maybe you can't do it once a week. Maybe you can do it once a month. Maybe you can do it once a quarter. Get a hotel room on a Saturday night or for the weekend. Whatever it is, you have to set that up. And women notice that. They will notice that you're making effort. The whole key is making an effort because effort is sexy to them. Effort lets them know that what they do and what they bring to the table is appreciated. And if you don't feel like doing that no more for her, if you don't feel as though she's valuable to you in that way, then you need to have that open conversation and figure out which direction y'all gonna go in, or make a direction and go in it. And as for my friend, I told her, you have to have these conversations with your husband. You just have to have a conversation with him about getting back to doing those small things that make you feel valued. And it's not a conversation that has to be like an argument or contentious or not like that. Just explain to him, like, listen, I miss those things about us. And if you can just work them things back in. I mean, I know that I'm not a brand new toy, right? So to say, I'm not brand new to you, but these things would really help me feel more connected and engaged in our relationship. And for the most part, what man that loves his woman wouldn't take a note of, okay, I just need to send some text messages, some good morning messages, make sure I'm just more accountable to the relationship. What man wouldn't hold up their end of the bargain? And if they don't, then that man doesn't appreciate you. And I'm not telling you what you should do, but what I'm saying is you can't ignore what makes you feel good with human interaction. It's just when you're not getting it, it can make you a miserable person. And so before you become miserable and killing yourself within, and what I mean killing yourself, like that fire, that desire that you have, before you throw more water on that, make sure that you speak up. You can say things in a very democratic way, in a very, I like to say, Obama way, which is a good way of saying harsh things, a good way of discussing difficult realities within a relationship without it being contentious, without it being an argument. You know, if you're getting an argument back when you're trying to make it a nice conversation, if a person feels like, well, what are you trying to say? I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do. It ain't about that. It's about, look, how we got here, how you got me was this way, and we've just moved off of that. And so I would like to get back to that. And if I'm falling short, right? If you're having this conversation and you say, if I'm falling short in some areas, then tell me what I can do to make you happy, right? Maybe he might say, well, I wish you would suck my dick more, right? And I'm saying that because the Curious Girl and I have had plenty of conversations about men not getting their dick sucked. So what if he says, I would like to get my dick sucked more? Because men look at intimacy and affection through a sexual lens. So don't be offended if he says that. Okay, if that's what does it for you, let me respect that. We all have to respect what does it for the other person and not look at them as that's petty. See, like women will look at a man wanting to get his dick sucked as something petty because sex isn't the number one option or the number one thing on the list of interactions with your partner. But for men, it very much is. That's why men that cheat, is not always about an emotional connection. Men just want to get the kind of sex they're not getting at home. Seriously. Or the sex that they used to get, they getting that outside the house. Because we've lost our way. And you're not the only person that's been there. I've been there. I understand. And I'm telling you, you have to work on those things. And you have to be consciously on that. You know, not on a daily basis, not trying to be unrealistic, but like at least weekly, monthly, just make time for each other. And make it a routine. Whether it's every week or once a month, once every month, once a quarter, just do something special. Like, this is our time. This is the 15th of the month. This is what we do on the 15th. You know, whatever it is. First Friday, second Friday, whatever it is. Do it and do it with intent. Let the other person know that you care enough to satisfy their needs and their wants. And things will smooth over and work out. These are my thoughts on the Candyman. And ladies, if the guy is coming with candies and flowers and all this woo romance, I'm not saying that guy isn't real, but I'm just saying you have to watch him a little closer. Because is he just trying to finesse you to get you, or does he just want your pussy? A lot of guys do a lot of finessing, a lot of lying about how they feeling for you, how they want you to be with them, and all that, just to fuck your pussy. Because once you go further in your emotional bag and connection with them, if they start pulling out, then you know that those flowers and that candy was all fake. Do not hesitate to cut that motherfucker off. But this is my conversation about that. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe on this vlogcast. I appreciate you guys for watching me. I appreciate all your feedback. You know how to reach me. Sir INQ on everything. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also follow me at kingspace.net. If you have any comments in private or a subject matter that you wish for me to discuss or go over, please email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you again. Until next time.